It's Chris and Jerry, Satoshi and Joe. Not your keys, not your cheese. Amigos often say, eat your fill of the orange peel and never lose your way. Paint the fence, sand the floor, stack the sats, stack some more. Amigos knocking on your door. It's Chris and Jerry, Satoshi and Joe. Beans, coffee, and biscuit. Satoshi was explicit. Study or you might miss it. Then prosperity will visit. Paint the fence, sand the floor, stack the sats, stack some more. Amigos knocking on your door. It's Chris and Jerry, Satoshi and Joe. Monkeys, pumas, hammers, and nails. Bitcoin amigos blazing a trail. Their integrity is never for sale. Amigos together can never fail. Paint the fence, sand the floor, stack the sats, stack some more. Amigos knocking on your door. It's Chris and Jerry, Satoshi and Joe. Amigos knocking on your door. It's Chris, Jerry, Satoshi and Joe.
Whoops. Whoops, didn't know the audio was on that whole time. Sorry. Hopefully I wasn't making any weird noises or worse. Good morning, everybody. Hello out there. We're on the air. Welcome back to another episode, another day of the Daily Bitcoin Journey. It's good to be back. What a great day it is today. So the Daily Bitcoin Journey focuses on actionable, logical discussion for Bitcoiners and for future Bitcoiners. And it is hump day, and we know what hump day means. Let's check on the zaps. There we go. Zaps are going. We already got a zap. And that zap is from our friend Daniel. Probably the longest running member of the community, Daniel. I think he was the very first member of Living in the Future. So shout out to Daniel. Shout out for the zap, and it was 888 sats, our favorite number, and it says promises kept. Promise kept, and more promises to be kept as we go forward here. So it is a big day. It is a big day. I think that we're gonna have a good show today. I got a really interesting conversation to have today in regards to MicroStrategy. So the big news of the day, of course, is our guy Ross Albright. He is free. Trump said that he was going to pardon him on day one, and he pretty much did. There's a lot of Bitcoiners freaking out. And I think it was a good lesson. I think it's a good lesson to kind of just chill, just take a step back, understand what's going on. Not everything's about you, right? I think that that's important to understand. And I knew that Trump would do it pretty early on. I mean, I didn't know for sure, but I had a pretty good feeling. But I mean, if you look at the last 2 days here, it's been 2 days since Trump was sworn in. And if you look at kind of what's happened so far, like you understand why it took a little bit longer than, we wanted. What we wanted it to happen like the first second he was sworn in. As he takes his hand off the Bible, he says, okay, Ross is free. That's what we wanted, but that's not reality. And if you look at the executive orders that he signed in terms of energy, in terms of the border, in terms of the DEI bullshit, there was a lot that was done on day one. And plus he had to sit through the church, some lady give him shit about lesbians and the LGBTQ community, listen to 2 hours of a band playing. Like, it's a pretty action-packed couple of days here for Trump so far. So I'm very happy and impressed that he did it this early. And I think that that's a pretty strong indication of what's to come, because he didn't have to. He could have waited a little bit longer too. Nobody would have cared other than what, 10,000 Bitcoiners, maybe. So big props to Trump. And, you know, he's been taking a lot of shit, especially in the circles that I hang around on the internet. And I think everybody needs to say thank you to Trump, because he definitely didn't have to do it. And he didn't have to do it this early. But it's a good sign of things to come. We got Charlie in the chat this morning. Good morning, Charlie. We got Knox Bill. Good morning. We got Timber Crasher. Good morning, Bitcoiners. Killer. Good morning, Living the Future. And everybody else. Country Club Hillbilly. Good morning. Ian says, good morning, gang. I watched the Jack Kruse playlist yesterday. Wow, I love these videos, Jor. In these crazy times, so glad for Bitcoin to keep my faith in. I think that is one person, and shout out to Daniel as well for introducing me. There's a couple people within Living the Future who got me on Jack Kruse, but it's had a pretty big impact on my day-to-day so far, and it's going to just keep improving. I think that we definitely have to understand Bitcoin. We have to understand what we're holding. We have to protect that Bitcoin, but we also got to protect ourselves. We got to protect our health, because if we don't have our health, then Bitcoin is completely irrelevant. So Jack Kruse is making a big splash, I think, in a lot of circles. And I think he's just going to keep permeating and waking people up to how bad, you know, the blue light is, how, what's the word you'd say? How intentional and how bad it is for a reason. Well, it's not like they just created this great technology, LED lights, and they're like, oh, okay, well, everybody deserves to have this. No, it was done with a purpose. And actually on Jack Kruse, one of the things that happened on day one is Trump revoked the EV mandate for electric cars, but he also did it to a whole bunch of household items. And one of those items was the light bulbs. And I didn't know this until listening to Jack Kruse, but I think it was the Obama administration who basically banned all incandescent lights and forced everybody to use LED. Who would have thought Barack Hussein Obama would do something that isn't necessarily great for us. So Trump reversed that. He said he's given the choice back to consumers, which is, I mean, should go without saying, but we never really had another way until now. So incandescent lights are back. That's big news. Letha, good morning. Good morning, Letha. And we got TDBTC. I think that's Tom, but it hasn't updated on my end yet. Trump definitely waited for 121. Full unconditional pardon was probably worth the extra day. No doubt. No doubt. Charlie says 95% of my wealth is in the Trump coin. I hope you're joking. I hope you're joking. Clean your machine. Good morning. Trump should give back Ross Bitcoin instead of using it for the strategic reserve. I agree with that. And I think you will. Charlie says, I trust Trump to do the right thing. I really do too. I know that there's a lot of Bitcoiners out there, especially like the anarchists. And I get it. I have nothing against that type of person. I don't, because what we've seen for the last 100 years, I give you absolute right to feel that way. But I really do believe that things are different. And I really do believe that things are going to get a lot better, every aspect of our lives. And, you know, it would have happened either way. I really believe that, just based on the internet decentralization with Bitcoin now, it would have happened either way. But it might have taken a very long time. And a lot of us might not have actually got to live through that without a guy like Trump in office right now. So he's taking a lot of shit. But I think there's going to be a lot of Bitcoiners eating a lot of crow in the next couple of months and years, which is good. Good morning, Rahan. We got Duncan in the chat as well. Good morning. Legends, Ross is free. Everybody's happy for that. I mean, how could you not be? My God. And that's kind of what led to today's main topic, is Ross. We're not talking about Ross. We're not going through like a biography of him. Today I'm going to talk about what could happen when governments want to weaponize their tools against people like Ross and against people like us. So, I mean, the good news is we have at least probably 4 years of runway, assuming everything goes well. But we got a long ways to go. And I think that we have to understand the today's episode is basically going to be understanding the importance of holding the keys to your Bitcoin, essentially. So I'm going to talk about MicroStrategy. I got a spreadsheet, but I want people to understand the implications of holding an asset yourself versus somebody else holding an asset for you, plus a few other things in there. I really want to understand it myself, and I want everybody who watches this show to really understand it and kind of make your own decisions based on that. Paul says, good morning, soldiers. Does CRA need to know about bit refill transactions with Lightning? No, that's why you use bit refill. And actually, let's do a little bit of housekeeping here first. So we got, I did want to say another thing. Oh, we got another fat zap here from the YouTube channel, from the chat. So I want to say a big shout out to whoever zapped 10,000 sats. That was on January 20th after the show. Anonymous zap, 10,000 sats. Thank you. And somebody just sent in 5,000 as well to this QR code right here. So 5,000 sats. I don't know who that was. They just had 2 quotation marks. So another anonymous zap for 5,000. And we got one on Zapstream, but it's not showing up. 420 sats from Zapstream. Hold on, I'm going to move over here. Okay, so what I'm going to do, Paul, I don't know if everybody here is familiar with bit refill or not, but it is a very solid. It's not on there either. Okay. Came from it came from very anonymously. But so bit refill. This is what I'm going to do. You can actually access bit refill now from the Speed wallet too. I didn't know that until just recently. But you can do a whole bunch of bit refill stuff on the Speed wallet. Oh, Arnie's doing something out there again. Fucking guy. Just stirring up shit. Stirring up shit. I might have to yell at him again. It seemed to work last time. Okay, let's try this for the 3rd time here. Bit refill. Nice thing about this, I'll walk you through kind of something that happened to my friend. All right, this happened to my friend. So he actually did some work. He does work that can be done from anywhere, serving anybody on the planet. So he did some work for somebody, and the guy, instead of sending like a money payment, a money transfer, a Venmo, PayPal, he actually sent Bitcoin to him. So he just opened up a brand new wallet. His name wasn't attached to the wallet. He received Bitcoin into that wallet. And then, that's a good start. You're kind of out of the system. You don't have to go through the fiat rails. That's a good start. But then if you actually want to do that consistently and actually start using that to fund your life, you can actually go into bit refill with no KYC. You just need an email address. But you can buy gift cards to Amazon. Hey, there's Arnie. What are you doing out there? You want to hang out? Want to come watch the show today? I want to be a part of it. Okay. Or just hang out there, whatever. All right, Arnie's here. Good. It's good that he's here and he's not destroying shit in the background. No, he's gone. Holy, that's a full coffee, and that's a hot coffee. So you got the Bitcoin, you did some work, somebody sent you some Bitcoin, nobody knows they sent you that Bitcoin, you have it in a wallet. You can actually use bit refill to buy gift cards for Amazon, Sobeys here in Canada, gas. You can buy Apple, gift cards. You can buy anything on there. Home Depot, if you're doing a bunch of renos. So you can use Bitrefill with 0 KYC to buy gift cards. And I've done it and it works really well. So anyways, that's my friend, actually makes a lot of sense. So you can earn money, you can spend money without touching the fiat rails. That's a big deal. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to put I think I have there's got to be some sort of a referral program for Bitrefill. So if you've never heard of it, you can use a link. I'll put it at the top of the video here. And then you can use that. Again, whenever you're signing up for new things, let me find this here. Whenever you're signing up for new things, the first thing I would say to everybody out there watching this is make sure you get an email account, a fresh email account. Use Proton Mail, but get a fresh Proton Mail account and use that for all of your Bitcoin transactions or all of your Bitcoin accounts, all of your exchanges, all of your things like Bitrefill. Don't use your name at gmail.com for Bitcoin stuff. Oh, okay. So I'm still signed in here. So let's go to, let me bring this up. Because this is important stuff, especially if you want to start living on a Bitcoin standard. This is like going to be one of your best friends here. So you actually earn cash back as well on gift card purchases. So you got ESO, you got CoinKite. You can get a new cold card with some non-KYC Bitcoin. You got Amazon, you got DoorDash. Shout out to Jerry, legendary. You can get some DoorDash, and then you can hire Jerry to get your food. Skip the dishes on there. Airbnb, if you want to go on a little holiday. There's airline, hotels.com. This is a very good resource, I think. So how do I get affiliate? Refer a friend. I'm going to put it in here right now. So we'll go share. How do I copy it? There we go. Copied. All right. So I'm going to put this link at the very top of the video here. So once the video is done today, go grab yourself a Bitrefill account. And again, so that's the first thing I would say is get an email address, a fresh email address. Even if you don't have one now, just create one today. Even if you've already signed up for a bunch of stuff, create a brand new one today and start using it for stuff like this instead of using your normal email address. The nice thing about that too is that it's a lot more private, but B, you're actually going to really reduce the chances of clicking a link or something. Like if you're going through a whole bunch of, exchanges and signing up for Bitcoin things with your normal email account, there's a much higher chance that you're going to click like a bad link, a phishing scam, as we call them. Okay, so I'm going to put the Bitrefill link right at the top here. So it looks like you get $5 off. And make sure you're using like referral links. Anytime you're signing up for like a new thing, make sure you're always using referral links. You're crazy not to. You're getting free stuff. So that is now at the top of the video here. So thanks. That's a good question, Paul. And the CRA definitely doesn't need to know. That's the point of it. Lori, good morning. Winners, we can only imagine what Ross is feeling today. Oh, man, no doubt. I was actually going to play, but I've been seeing it everywhere, so I didn't really want to waste people's time today. But there's a clip circulating of Ross from Bitcoin 2021, I believe. It's his voice. It's like a phone call from prison, but very, man, it's hard to really even comprehend what that guy's gone through. Like, I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine. So it is a great day for Bitcoin. It gives me a lot of hope. It really does. And I don't really care. I mean, you can probably tell by now that I don't really give a shit what people think about, Trump or how much I like Trump, but it is hope. And things like this kind of validate the feelings I've had towards that and what's been going on kind of behind the scenes. Ron says, is Trump's Stargate going to turn into Skynet from Terminator? What's Stargate? I never even saw that yet. What is it? Trump's Stargate is freedom. A mass surveillance grid is a libertarian dream. Trust Trump. I don't understand. All right. Amigos knocking is Letha's fave. Letha, thank you for the 10,000 sats on that. On Wave Lake. Letha's up 10,000 sats for that one. Thank you. And it's actually number 7 on Wave Lake. Number 7, we got a couple songs on there right now. So if you're not on Wave Lake yet, first of all, you can listen to some great music, including the Bitcoin Amigos exclusively on Wave Lake. But there it is right there. Amigos Knocking is number 7. And I think that Rippity Rip's moved up to number 15 now. I love this song. Such a good song, Rippity Rip. I think that one has a lot of potential. I think that one's got a lot of potential. Lori's favorite as well, Amigos Knocking. All right, good to know. I like that one too. It's got a really, really good tune. Timber Crasher says, drop a like for Jor and for a free Ross. Yeah, man. Thank you. Okay, so we got a couple more zaps here. We got somebody sent in 121 sats. Looks like it's from Zapstream. Somebody sent in 888 sats. Said Ross is free thanks to Arnie. And somebody zapped 1,000 sats. So thank you, everybody. It's a good start to the show today for the zaps. A hot start, you might say. All right, man, we got a lot of good days ahead. I just want you to know that. And I think that one of the main reasons why there's so much resistance to Trump is because people are just so used to being trampled on. And it's really bad. It is. And it's not our fault. It's nobody's fault. It's the media's fault. It is the people who have controlled the world. It's their fault. For the last 100 years, there's been a mass propaganda to try and brainwash people and to try and basically just to keep people down, keep people in a system that there's no way to win for people. And I think that that's the big draw. That's what brought a lot of people into Bitcoin, is the fact that they don't have to participate in that anymore. But people are so used to just being shit on by government, by people in general, that they just can't see, they can't see a future that's where we win. And we have to understand where we are right now. We have to understand where we're going. And if you're just going to keep finding the bad and everything, you're not going to enjoy this as much as you should. And when Trump says we have more energy than we know what to do with, when he says get used to winning more than you've ever won before, like I honestly believe that. And it's not just a hunch that I have, it's actually things that have been done, objective things that have been done in the name of sovereignty and then in the name of freedom. Wyatt says, so if you freed Ross, then it's most likely we will get a Bitcoin strategic reserve. Yes, 100%. That's what I'm saying. This is just I don't know what the hell's going on here. You know what, Tony? I don't have time for you today. I'm going to put Tony in timeout. Bye-bye. See you later, buddy. No time for dipshits today. Cleaner Machine says, good boy, Arnie. Yeah, well, he is most days, but he's also a shit disturber some days. Bodie, Bitcoin Generations. Good morning, friends. The world is better with Ross free. Much respect for Trump for keeping his promise. Yes. All right. Spaceman says, hey all. Hope you're having a good morning. Zapped 121 sats. We got Pasty over there. We got Wood Butcher. Bodie's over there as well. And we got Plunger. Plunger zapped 1,000 sats over on the Zap stream. Thank you, everybody. Hey, Rick. Good morning, Rick. Good to see you, my friend. Great to see you. How are we doing on the likes? We're doing good on the zaps, but how are we doing on the likes? I would say that the zaps are much more important, but you know, likes are important too. Hold on. Let's see how we're doing. All right, we got 80 people in here and we have 30 likes. Oh my God, come on. Come on, folks. We have to do better than that. Like, you know, there's not even half the people in here. That's the other thing too that kind of makes me mad a little bit. It's like people watch the show, people watch the videos, and there's like 60% of people who just like don't subscribe to the channel. All you have to do is press a fucking button, subscribe to the channel. If you enjoy it, if you get value from it, it's the least you could do. And I'm not going to sit here and beg. It just doesn't make sense to me that like people, whether it's me or anybody else, like we're pushing this thing forward here. And I'm not going to take credit for anything that's happened so far, but I'm going to be part of the future in terms of helping more people find Bitcoin and find hope, essentially. And so when you click like, when you click subscribe, when you send a zap, that keeps me going here and it keeps pushing this thing forward. Because when you do that, you're supporting me, but you're also supporting Bitcoin more than anything else. Team Bitcoin. We're all in Team Bitcoin here. So thank you, Rick, for being such a consistent reminder here for us. And thank you, everybody who has done so already. And that is a call out to the slackers out there. You know who you are. Don't be a slacker. Buck 52,000 says, Ecuador looks like a place I could live. Yeah, anywhere hot would be a great place to live. Outside of the bugs, though. I'm not a big bug guy myself. Maverick, good morning. Sorry, I missed it here. Triumph. Can't spell triumph without Trump. Drew says, hey, Jor, any thoughts on Elon and his Roman salute? Ross out, let's rippity rip. I don't know. It was way overblown for sure, of course. Do I think Elon's a Nazi? No. Do I think Elon gets a little carried away sometimes on stage? Yes. Irrelevant. Completely. It was one of those, it's just another example of something that's completely irrelevant that the media just blows way out of proportion. Fuck the media. Brennan, rewind to when we all began the journey. Then look where we are today. Holy cow. So true. It's so true. All right. Wyatt says Stargate is incredibly sus. They talked about our mRNA cancer vaccines. Why would Trump support mRNA? Well, okay. Let's. I haven't looked at this at all, so this is a very uneducated opinion on Stargate or whatever the hell we're talking about here. But I will say this: mRNA. It's not that our mRNA is bad. It's not. I think it's actually going to be a big part of the future. The problem for me was that they forced it on people. They had not done the proper human trials. Essentially, the pandemic was a human trial of this. So their approach, their force, everything, that was the bad part. mRNA is a great technology. I think it's going to be a big part of the future. Honestly, I do. But you should never be forced to take it. And it should have been properly tested and trialed with proper liability in place. You know, if you have cancer and there's a vaccine that can cure it, you're gonna do that. And I don't know anything about the cancer one at all. But like, if you look at the cancer industry today and how bad it is and like the cures for cancer that we have, it's a joke. So again, it had not, the first time around had nothing to do with like the mRNA aspect of it. It had everything to do with how they approached it, the fact that it was not tested at all, and the fact that they were making people, kids especially, who had zero risk to the illness, zero. They have the best immune systems on the planet, and they're making kids get this vaccine. Otherwise they couldn't play hockey. Otherwise they couldn't hang out with their friends. That was truly fucking evil. And I really hope that there's a lot of people who pay a very high price for what they did there. But that has nothing to do with the mRNA aspect of it. It doesn't. So compare that to like a kid who doesn't need this and they're like forced by the government to do it versus somebody who's like has late stage cancer, and if something can cure that, there's really there's nothing to lose at that point. Those are two totally different things. So don't throw the what do you call it? The baby out with the bathwater. That's a perfect example of that. But I understand what you're saying, but you have to look at it differently. Hey, Renita, good morning. Ginger, Django, Shahan, good morning. Okay, so Utah State fan says the story of how Ross was caught was kind of sus. I don't know if I believe the narrative. Actually, I don't know about it too much, honestly. I don't know about it, but I mean, when you get to a certain point in the journey here, you literally you question everything, and that's how it should be. It's how it should be. Everything. Don't ever just take anything at face value, no matter what. No, Classic Forever says, does BitRefill require a bunch of BS KYC? No, all you need is an email address. There's no sort of verification there at all. Unless it changed since I signed up, but I don't think so. Otherwise, that would kind of defeat the purpose of it. Kyle says, the YouTube's apps never show the notes that you display. Shitty. I've done a few and it doesn't display. I don't know. I don't have an answer to that, my friend. One thing you could probably do if you wanted to, like if you wanted to send a message, and maybe try this, Kyle, if you don't mind, even just send like one sat, but just send it to, try going into like a normal, your Lightning wallet, and send in, put in the message field there, adopted son 98 at Wall to Satoshi. I wonder if that has a different impact on it. Sorry, I'll leave that up for a sec. But that's shitty. I mean, they show up in Zapstream, but either way, I would like if we could figure out a way where we could see messages from this as well. Hey, Jason, good morning. Guest speaker Arnie. Yeah, what's we get Arnie to talk about today? Classic says, totally agree about the separate non-KYC email account for all Lightning-related transactions. Yep, look after your privacy. Otherwise, chain analysis will follow you all over the place. Yeah, those fuckers. Julian from Get Base put out a nice tribute to Ross. I saw that. I haven't watched it yet, but I saw that. Josh, good morning. Ontario checking in, -20, but that's child's play for y'all. Happy Ross is free. Have a great day. Yeah, so yesterday here, no, I think it was Monday. It was -48. I think I showed it on the show, actually. -48. Arnie didn't even want to go outside. Wild. Yeah, that was Monday. That was Monday afternoon. It got to -48. Morning, Lox Guy. And good morning, Chris Bridges. 500 billion AI with Oracle. Don't know what that means. Okay, so this is all kind of, I must have missed this. I'm too out of the loop to care about this right now. Sorry, everybody. This is a good question. Muslim Bitcoiner says, what is your next biggest wish list after Ross's freedom? SBR, no capital gains tax. I think the capital gains tax would be a big one. Although I think that Trump's going to go, I really believe this. And again, you know by now that I don't give a shit what anybody says. I don't, because it's completely irrelevant to me. I have my opinions based on what I've seen, and that's what I think. So you can like it or hate or not like it. It doesn't matter to me. But I really think that we're going to see during Trump's 4 years here, I think the majority of taxes are going to be wiped out. All of them. Not just capital gains tax, not just tax on tips, not just tax on veterans' pay, pensions, not just tax on, what was the other one? There's a couple big ones. But I think he's going to completely eliminate income tax, federal anyways. States will be up to themselves. But I think that federal income tax will be completely gone. And it's a combination of less people working, more AIs. AIs aren't going to pay taxes, right? So there'll be less money coming in. So they can't rely on humans anymore. Even if they wanted to, they couldn't. So there'll be less reliance on human resources to tax and a lot more on natural resources to tax. In other words, hook up a Bitcoin miner to one of the natural resources in one of the national parks and literally print money. And if you, with a combination of that plus a much smaller government in terms of like the size of it, in terms of the spending. So you shrink that, you add Bitcoin mining to it, and I think that all tax is going to be gone. I really believe that. Tony's in a timeout right now. I wonder how long his timeout lasts. Should have just banned him, honestly. Wyatt says they want to build. Okay. General, I don't, sorry. I don't have time for AI this morning. Would you like Canada to become a state? Yes. I would. I would love that. That's the best thing that could happen to Canada. People are just so damn impatient. No doubt. That's the thing that bothers me. It's like everybody thinks that the world is on their timeline. And that's with Bitcoin price. That's with Ross. Everybody thinks that whatever they value should be the most important thing to everybody. In reality, it's completely fucking irrelevant. So the world will never act according to how you want it to. And I think that if you understand that, your whole life changes pretty much, honestly. Lori says, would be wild if Trump signed this SBR with Ross present. Yeah, I could see it. It seemed like he waited till the 21st for a reason anyways. Hey, look at this. Here's some good news. AV, 40 years old and decided to quit my job to take mental time and start anew. Not a boy or girl. Thank you to Bitcoin for giving me the opportunity to do so. Yeah, I mean, when I left my job, and I kind of talked about this on whose podcast was it? Oh, I got to get info on that actually. That was on Paula's podcast. I wonder if that's out. Guess I should message her. But anyways, I talked about the fact that like quitting my job when I did probably wasn't the smartest move. It probably wasn't. But I wouldn't have been able to do without Bitcoin because, you know, when you have a job, like I had a job for since I was like 14 years old, I've had a job doing something, picking up range balls, delivering pizzas, pumping gas. I worked for the government. I worked for the government for one summer doing the census surveys where you go door to door and try to force people to fill out the government surveys. It's actually hilarious to think about that now, but it actually taught me a lot of good skills in terms of like when you're trying to sell the government on somebody, you have to do a pretty good job of sales. So I did that for a summer. I worked on my grandpa's farm it wasn't really a farm. He just had horses, but lots of stuff to do. What else did I do? I worked at a clothing store. I worked at Moore's too. But I mean, when you're used to having a steady paycheck and then all of a sudden it ends, that's a new feeling. And I think it was Kevin O'Leary who once said that a paycheck is like heroin. Like you get addicted to it and you can't stop it because you have that money coming in. And a lot of people just piss a lot of that away, but that's not the point. The point is when that ends, you gotta feed yourself. And so it definitely makes you work harder. It definitely makes you hungrier. But I'm saying I would not have been able to do that without Bitcoin. Bitcoin was basically like my insurance policy there, where I knew I was going to work my ass off to try to keep food on the table and try to keep the lights on here. But if all went bad, I had Bitcoin there, which was very comforting to me. And I'd sell a little bit, of course. I mean, if I'm going to eat or keep my Bitcoin, I'm obviously going to eat. So that's awesome, Avi. That's good for you. I think that there's going to be a lot more people doing that in the coming years. It's already begun, actually, ever since the pandemic. LMZY says, I'm worried about the bills which our woke UK government is going to pass soon, such as the Climate and Nature Reserve Bill. More power grabbing and restrictions potentially. How can Bitcoin help us here? Well, Bitcoin gets you further away from everything. That's what it does. Bitcoin's like a layer of protection for you, for your purchasing power, for your wealth, for your whatever you want to do. You just want to, yeah, I don't know. That's a whole nother sidetrack. I don't really want to get into, but I did love the fact that Trump ended the climate bullshit. He ended the DEI bullshit on day one. And there's another one. There's a big one. The genders. They officially, I mean, this should never have even been a thing. But again, we got male and female. And if you're a watcher of the show here, we've been doing that for a while. The Bitcoin Journey official policy has been 2 genders for a very long time. So, Mr. Yofang, good morning. What is going on here? Like, are these bots or something? I don't understand. It's weird because like some of these Charlies, Larrys, aliens, like some days they're actually having normal conversations, but then some days they're all saying the same thing. So I don't know what the hell is going on here. But anyways, Sean says, I've been orange pilled so fast in the last couple of weeks, my head is spinning. Welcome aboard, Sean. You're in good hands here, my friend. It's a completely different world. Daddy-O says, no cures, it's all treatments from Big Pharma. No residual income in cures. Yep, that is true. That is true. I disagree with this. I do. You know, I'm not... let me say this. It'll take me a very long time to put something into my arm. For sure. For sure. But again, if you have cancer and you have 2 choices, take a vaccine, and again, this is very far away from, you know, me willing to do it. And even at this stage, I would probably lean towards like going to the jungle, trying that route. That's what I would do today, because we're not there yet. It hasn't been properly tested. We don't know what the longer term implications are this. But at the same time, if you're like 60 years old, 65 years old, and that's like literally your only chance right now, I'm taking that. I am. But to me right now, never. But this kind of stuff is going to, like, technology is going to make humans live longer and with a higher quality of life. We're just not there yet. It's nowhere near it for me. It wasn't 4 years ago. It's nowhere near for me. But it's going to be a big part of the future. And you can't really say that they're full of toxic ingredients. That's not the technology there. I have a pretty decent understanding of the mRNA stuff because, you know, when I was basically banished from society, I was trying to make sure that I was making the right decision, right? So it's not about the ingredients in it. It's about how it finds the problem or how it changes your cells. It has nothing to do with the ingredients in it. It could carry whatever ingredient. It could be very toxic, or it could be nothing. It has nothing to do with the ingredients in it. That's not the mRNA aspect of it. Nimlord, good morning. What's good? Everything's good right now. Everything's good right now. Things have never been better. Paid an all-time high for me for Bitcoin yesterday, slightly uncomfortable and kind of exciting at the same time. Well, if you get a long enough time horizon, John, you're going to look back and laugh at what your all-time high was. Bitcoin's forever going to be hitting all-time highs. That's what it's designed to do. So because it's an all-time high today, that doesn't mean it's going to be in a decade from now or a year from now. When I sold my rental house back in 2021, I sold it for, at the top. I sold my house. I bought Bitcoin at like $65,000, and I spent the next couple of years being pissed that I didn't wait a little bit longer, and I could have got a lot more Bitcoin. But now, 3 years later, even though I bought the all-time high, it's doubled since then. Went from 60, well, almost doubled. But that's what I'm saying here. Don't worry about the price. It's not about the price. It's about getting as many sats as you possibly can. Josh says, what I like about this channel, aside your and everyone else's admiration for the world's greatest asset, is that we can all talk about other like-minded stuff like Trump, hating Trudeau, etc. mRNA stuff. cares? We can talk about whatever we want. That's the nice thing about it. It's just an open conversation. Okay. We got a couple zaps here. I see 888. I said to send one, Kyle, one sat. 888 sats. There's no message attached to it. That's shitty. Maybe you might have to try a different wallet too. If it's, you know, I'm not going to tell you to do that, but if it's important to you, then try a different wallet. Dizzy Willow, good morning. Adam, hello. Wyatt says Trump's betting on tariffing the world and then reducing taxes on Americans. Great if you're America first, bad if you're America's neighbor. True. I think it's gonna start with tariffs. Tariffs are like the thing you can implement tomorrow. Bitcoin mining is a longer term play because you can't just fire up mines tomorrow. That's a 2, 3, 4, 10-year plan. But yes, tariffs are going to be bad for everybody else. But that's how it should be. That's how it should be. As much as like Canadians are going to suffer from that, Trump should be putting America first. Every president, every prime minister should be putting their citizens first. And that's probably the craziest thing for me for the last couple of years is that basically the government here, especially, have been doing the exact opposite of what's best for the citizens. Sean says, will Trump advise citizens to switch to Bitcoin or purchase a bit of Bitcoin for every citizen? I don't know. It would be good. I mean, that's what El Salvador did when they made Bitcoin legal tender. They gave everybody some Bitcoin. It was an incentive to get a wallet. I think that would be genius, and I wouldn't count it out for sure. Adam says, if Canada becomes a state, would America gain more blue-leaning citizens and red-leaning citizens? Well, first of all, I don't think Canada would be like one state. That wouldn't make any sense. But I don't know. And so if it also depends on like how the US, they do their elections. Like they're very focused. I think it's the Electoral College. That might change too, though. I don't think that was ever part of like the Constitution. I think that was something that was like made up along the way. But anyways, if you looked at like anyone west of here, it's all like conservative. In the cities, like in Edmonton, maybe Regina's in NDP, BC, but even Vancouver's like switching to be a lot more conservative now. And then you have like the concentration of like a lot of liberals, I guess, in southern Ontario, like by Toronto. It's a huge area. It's pretty much, the election's pretty much decided by the time it gets there. But at the same time, I don't think that our government, I mean, Trudeau for the last couple of years has had a 20% approval rating. So even though he got voted in, that's not the reflection of Canada. It's really not. Government senseless surveys. Yeah, I know. It's kind of it's hard for me to admit that I did that. But anyways, made me better. It made me a better person. Why would Trump? Yeah, the soothing government of Canada jingle. Whenever I hear that, it just makes me sick. Spaceman says, kudos to me. I was able to get my mom to invest in a few shares of MicroStrategy yesterday. I'm a very proud son right now. Oh, do I have time to talk about that today? Fuck, I don't think I do. Why would Trump want to pump Bitcoin before acquiring the million coins? Exactly. Oh, yes. This was a big one. Big one. Trump pulled out of the World Health Organization, the Paris Accord, the black hole non-government organizations. Hey, here's a nice comment. Laugh pad. I'm real and I appreciate you, Jor. So glad Ross gets to see the sunrise with the rest of us Bitcoiners. Amen to that. Amen to that. Okay, no, I know why. I know that you're not a bot. I'm not questioning you. It's a new Trump policy. You have to check out the video when you can. Okay, I will. I just haven't yet. I was more referring to like this, Alien James, Larry Nixon. Well, Tony, I don't know what the hell Tony's deal is. Tony can kick rocks. He's in a timeout. But then there was like someone at the start of the show too. Anyways, had a dream that I woke up to 300K Bitcoin. Well, I mean, like Odell said, even without going through like a super cycle in the next year, 2 million per Bitcoin is just a normal cycle. We'll hit 2 million Bitcoin without even like anything crazy happening. Never mind an SBR. So yeah, I mean, 300,000, that's peanuts. That's peanuts. Ross is free, rock and roll. Afonso. Amen. Kyle's using speed. Okay, I don't think speed is the best for like comments and stuff, honestly. Speed's just fast. It's very easy to set up and fast to use, but there's other options out there. Scotty says the last administration hates the country they were leading. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Diego, good morning. Matt says, thank you to everybody who helped in getting Ross freed. That means you. Let's fucking go. I mean, I'm not going to claim to have done anything, but I mean, that's kind of what I said at the start of the show. Like when you're sharing my show, when you're commenting on it, when you're liking, subscribing, that helps. It helps me keep showing up. It helps this information get in front of more eyes. And it helps Bitcoin, because the more people who understand Bitcoin, the more people who hold Bitcoin, the more people who take Bitcoin off of the exchanges, the better off we're all going to be here. That's the message I was trying to portray. Dantel, good morning. Hey, look at this, Vendetta. First time plugging in live. This is a great little community. It really, really, really is. Bodhi. Wow, that's a fat zap right there, my friends. Bodhi. All right, we got 21,000 sats from our guy Bodhi. Says, for the many times I could never zappity zap and encourage my fellow boomer turtles that they can get on this train. January 21 should always be remembered as Bitcoin Freedom Day or Ross Freedom Day. May the finest coffee bless your morning. Oh man, Bodhi. God. Thank you. And shout out to Bodhi too. He's that's another thing. Our Bitcoin generations, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get the baby boomers to try and reconfigure some of that. I know it's hard. I have so much empathy for baby boomers out there because they didn't really have a choice. They've had 50, 60, 70, 80 years of brainwashing. And it's hard to undo that. It's really hard to undo that. So shout out to Bodhi. Thank you for the zap. And shout out to all the baby boomers out there. I think that baby boomers take a lot of shit, and some of them deservedly so. But at the same time, it's not their fault. It's really not. When you had 60 years of 3 sources of information, it's tough to unfuck that out of your brain. Mark says, I'm wondering if Albright still has some coin stash somewhere. God, I wish I could have talked about that. I have a meeting at 9:30. Otherwise, I would. Should we do it today? Okay, let's do it today. Tyler says, what exchange or hot wallet would you recommend for someone starting their Bitcoin journey? Tyler, if you're in Canada or the US, oh man, this is going to be, I'm not going to be able to do it today. I'm going to have to do it tomorrow. That's okay though. That's okay. I got some really good information on MicroStrategy that I wanted to share. No, it's nothing new. It's just a different understanding of it that I didn't have before. So I have changed my mind a little bit on MicroStrategy. That's what I'll say. And I kind of wanted to talk through it. I'm not selling it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not selling MicroStrategy. I'm just thinking about it differently than I did. So we'll do that tomorrow. That's my promise to you. We'll do it tomorrow because I want to get through some of these questions, and we should give away some Bitcoin too. Speaking of Tyler's comment here. All right. So Juan says, not sure the Bitcoin reserve comes so fast. The ETF talk was since 2018 and it finally came last year only. Honestly, this is how you should be thinking about it. This is how I think about it. And I know it's hard. I have to remind myself of this sometimes, a lot of times. But I want you to think about this. I want you to think about the Bitcoin reserve. Because will it be a big deal? Yes. Will it be a massive deal? Yes. Beyond our comprehension, size of deal. But when you look at things as a buyer instead of a seller, it changes your whole perception on this. And I've talked about this in comparison to like a farmer, where a farmer, I think that farmers are actually the closest thing to Bitcoiners that exist out there. Farmers, they understand being a buyer versus being a seller, because farmers, they think very long term. They think about generations to come. They buy land, they farm the land, and they expect to acquire more land in the future to grow their farm, to grow their generational wealth. That's what they have. They don't have a pension. They probably don't own a lot of stocks. All of their wealth is in their land. And if you think about a farmer, do you think that a farmer wakes up in the morning and he checks the price of his land? And then he goes out and works, and then he comes back at lunch and he logs onto the computer again and checks the price of his land again. And he's hoping that it goes up every day, 5 times a day? No. If anything, he's actually looking for deals. He's hoping the value of land, he can get a deal on it so he can buy more land. He can buy his neighbor's land, or he can buy a section down the road that he can farm and expand their wealth, expand their generational wealth. And so with this, yes, a Bitcoin reserve would be great. Yes, it would make us richer overnight. But if you're in the business of wanting to acquire more, they can take as long as they want. They can take as long as they want to introduce this. So when you look at things from being a buyer versus being a seller, honestly, let's say that Trump went through with the Bitcoin reserve next week, price shot to $1 million. Are you selling it? Or are you just going to get less as this goes on? You're going to take your time, your energy. You're going to find a way to convert that to Bitcoin or get paid in Bitcoin, but you're going to get a whole lot less than you would have. So if you're selling it, if you're planning on selling your Bitcoin, yes, Bitcoin Strategic Reserve is great. If you're planning on buying more, acquiring more, then it's not good. It's really not. So think like a buyer. Think like a buyer. And the longer the US government, and so maybe just think about it like a farmer in terms of like, if let's say that you had a bunch of land, you had a farm, and all of a sudden you hear rumblings of like this big megacorp farm company that's coming to town, and they're going to start buying land. So as a farmer, you're like, okay, that's good. The value of my land is going to go up. But you're also like, okay, well, I'm not going to be able to grow anymore because it's going to be out of my scope. I'm not going to be able to afford this land anymore because this big corporation, or in this case, the US government, is going to come up and buy all this scarce land. So it's good if you're selling it. If the farmer wanted to sell his land to this megacorp, then that's a good thing. But if you're planning on keeping it in your family for the next generations, then that's a bad thing. The big corporation coming to your area and buying up land, that's a bad thing. And that's exactly what the US government is doing here. So it all depends on how you look at it. I think that if you understand that aspect of it, then you really can't lose, right? Because you're going to be happy if it goes up in the sense of like your net worth is up, but you're also happy if it takes them 2 years to do, because then you can acquire more land around you. Rick says, happen to know the best way to swap Solana shitcoins over to Bitcoin. After my Trump coin win, I think I'm done with the shitcoin game. It depends. I think that if you're using a wallet like, any wallet, Exodus is probably the best, honestly, Exodus wallet for swapping. I think Phantom's another one, but I don't think you can actually swap Bitcoin directly on Phantom. So what you'd probably have to do is swap your Trump coin for Solana, send your Solana to Exodus, and then swap your Solana for Bitcoin. That's probably the best way to do it. And if you need help, Rick, just let me know. I'm happy to help. Tyler says, what exchange or hot wallet would you recommend for someone starting their Bitcoin journey? So what exchange? It really depends. I mean, if you're going to use a hot wallet, then I would suggest using Bitcoin Well. So Bitcoin Well, to me, is the best platform that exists. If you're in Canada or the US, there's no better Bitcoin platform than Bitcoin Well. So what you could do there is you could set up like you could use Moon Wallet. You could use Speed Wallet. So this is what I would say. If this was me, I would go to Bitcoin Well. I would get an account. I would download Speed Wallet. Hold on, because you can't take the keys to your Speed Wallet. What's another good wallet? Lightning Wallet. Wallet of Satoshi if you're in Canada. I should probably have like a list of like good Lightning wallets to use here on the wall. What's another one here? I mean, speed's fine. You just got to be very careful with it because you actually don't hold the keys to it. Wallet of Satoshi's great. What's another one here? Shit. Start with those. Coinos is another one. So you sign up for an account, you put in your Lightning address into your destination address you can buy. I'd start with like $50, $100 on Bitcoin Well, just to get familiar with the process, make sure the transaction goes through. So you can set up a recurring buy with Bitcoin Well if you want a DCA, but I would probably just buy like a big amount. And so you can actually set up like, if you're buying smaller amounts, you can use Lightning. That's what I'm suggesting to use here for a hot wallet. Let it build up to like 150,000 sats, 250,000 sats. And then you move it from your Lightning wallet to your either a cold wallet, a device, or like a Moon wallet or something. So that's what I would say. Or Aqua too. Aqua is a great wallet for storing. That's kind of what I would do. I would keep it in Aqua. So again, buy it on the Bitcoin Well, move it to your Lightning wallet, let it build up a balance in there. And then when you get to like, say, 250,000 sats, that's when you move it to your Aqua wallet and just hold it there. You can actually hold the keys to your Aqua wallet. You can swap back and forth with Liquid and Lightning, or you can just hold it on there. And then when you get a hardware device, that's when you can move it from your Aqua wallet to your cold storage. So if that's what you're looking for, Tyler, if you're in Canada or in the US, then you can use this, or anybody out there who's looking to buy some Bitcoin or try a different exchange. bitcoinwell.com/Jor. They don't pay me anything at all, zero. I don't have a monthly income from Bitcoin Well. I just love the platform. It's by far the best one in Canada and the US, I think. People like Strike too, people like River, but Bitcoin Well here in Canada is by far the best one. So let me bring that up, and we're actually going to give away some Bitcoin here on the show. So let's go to everybody, get your Lightning wallets out. Get your thumbs ready. And the fastest person to scan this QR code is going to win some Bitcoin today. So here we go. Ready? Set. Go. Let's have a big one today for Ross. No, 210. 210 sats. And actually, you know what? I'm going to do 2 giveaways today in honor of Ross. Just for shits and gigs. Plus, I missed the episode yesterday, so I got some extra some extra here. Oh, look at that. There's 88 people in here right now. It's a good number. Plus Zapstream. Plus Rumble. Sorry, Rumble. Okay, let's do another one here. Ready? Set. Go. $500. Oh, there you go. I thought the 500 sats were gone. So somebody got $500 in the future. Ross is free. House go up. Buy Bitcoin every day. Strategy doesn't change. That's a great way to think about it. All right. So once again, thank you to Bitcoin Well. Again, they don't pay me at all. I receive $0 from Bitcoin Well to talk about them. I just love their platform. It's the best. They're Team Bitcoin. They've been around for a very long time, very reputable. They don't hold anybody's Bitcoin. You send them dollars, they send you Bitcoin. Very low fees. I think they're the lowest fees in North America. And I just love the website. So easy to use, so many different features. And so you can go to bitcoinwell.com/Jor. Get some free tosses. Michael says, most boomers lack self-awareness and feel no accountability for the current state of the world. I mean, I'm not going to disagree with that, to be honest with you. But we can't just like group all the baby boomers in together. Because personally, I know a dozen really, really solid people who are baby boomers within this community here. So I hate like grouping people together. I do agree that there's a lot of baby boomers out there who are fit this description. But there's a lot that aren't too. There's a lot that are actually understand what's going on, understand what they've kind of been part of causing here, and are making very actionable steps to try to turn the ship around. Jason says if he's not guilty, then he should have his property returned. I agree with that. I do. Parker, good morning. Good morning. Hey, Jason. Yeah, I like Aqua too. Okay, so we got Parker says Aqua, Scotty says Aqua, Michael says Aqua, and good morning, Jason. All right, what else do we have here? I got to go right away. I got to go bad. Cleaning Machine says, I have pension money I can't touch, but I lend at 15% and end February. Would MicroStrategy be a better bet moving forward because I have others waiting for a loan? Yeah, I mean, this is kind of, I don't want to give anything away because I want to really talk about this. It's important. But kind of my conclusion here was that literally the only money you should have in MicroStrategy, especially in like a year or two from now, is money that's trapped, like that you can't access. You can't pay any amount of fees to get it. That's what should be holding MicroStrategy. That's it. That's kind of my conclusion for tomorrow, but I'll give the analysis tomorrow. Matt says, you work for the government. I'm out. Yep, I did. I was 20 years old. I lived in my parents' basement. I met one person from the government, and she basically, I had to call her like every 2 weeks to check on my progress. That's it. I didn't have any other, like, I was actually amazed by the amount of responsibility they gave me as a 20-year-old who had no idea what he was doing. But it's fun to look back on. Drew says, can use Lightning to move sats from Bitcoin Well to Aqua? Yes. You can. Yep, you can. You can. You'll have to pay a fee if you want to use it. No, you can't actually, I don't think. Parker says yes, but I think you actually you'd have to move it to your Bitcoin address and then swap it to Lightning if you're using Aqua. But if you set up another channel there where you go from Bitcoin Well to Speed Wallet and then to Aqua, that's zero fees on that route. But if you're going directly to Aqua, you'll have to move it in Bitcoin and then swap it to Lightning, which will cost you some sats. So again, I would go from Bitcoin Well to Speed and then to Aqua to hold it, but don't go directly to Aqua from Bitcoin Well. Sorry, I don't mean to disagree here, but I don't think you can, because you need a Lightning address to move it from Bitcoin Well. And Aqua doesn't have Bitcoin addresses yet. Okay. Well, just like usual here, I saved myself about 2 minutes to spare. Oh, somebody sent in 1,000 sats. Thank you. I don't know who it was from the code here. So thanks everybody. Make sure you stop by tomorrow. I'm going to do a full analysis on MicroStrategy. I just think it's important. I want to understand it better. I want the people in the community here to understand it better. And I'm going to give you a few of my conclusions from it. Jason says, look at directing your health spending account, if you have one, towards one of those MSTU, MSTXs, or the other. It's one of them that are eligible. Yeah, so I think it's the MSTSY is the one where you actually earn dividends in there. Anyways, we'll save that for tomorrow. So thank you everybody for showing up today. Thank you for the zaps. Big shout out to Bodie for the very fat zap today, 21,000 sats. And we'll be back here tomorrow. You can generate Lightning invoices from Aqua. Yes, you cannot, but that doesn't help with Bitcoin Well because you need a Lightning address, not an invoice. So Bitcoin Well to Speed Wallet to Aqua Wallet. Then you can hold it there. You hold the key to it. You can swap it back based on whatever you need. You're going to pay a little fee on it, but for that transaction, there's 0 fees there. So have yourselves a great day, everybody. Big day yesterday, big things to come. And we couldn't be in a better spot than we are right now. So just know that. Have a great day, and we'll see you right back here first thing tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.